All right, so just to start off, Darren, really gritty performance ending the match all the way through 120 minutes into penalties against the USL Championship side. You just start off talking about the team performance, the resolve that the team had to force that result.
Yeah, tough, man. Bitter pill to swallow when you hang out for a few hours and then go to penalties. We're going to look back at it, but I think we created better chances. I think we got in behind them a couple of times clean and weren't able to finish. So those are tough, but, Shello almost made the save to his left. If he makes that save, it's a little bit different. So Arthur Boswell can take a penalty for me anytime. Love the kid.
And mentioning Ryan getting his first start as a kicker, making a couple really key saves in the first and the second half. Can you kind of talk about his performance and how he stepped up in this cup match?
Yeah, it's been a little bit interesting for Ryan the last couple of years. He's been a backup in Detroit. He was a backup in Tucson. And, the one thing I know about him is he's a gamer. We felt like that, and he deserved a game, and he rewarded us for it. So the good part is we have two good goalkeepers, and you're going to need that a long season.
And then for the overall team performance and the game plan tonight, a little bit of a rope-a-dope in the first half, and then making a couple subs at halftime and really taking the game to him. Can you kind of talk about just the tale of those two halves and what the team was able to succeed in that first half, and then what they were able to succeed in the second half?
Yeah, different than in the past. That's, Loudoun's always been a developmental team for DC, so he had younger guys. Last year and this year he's got a budget and he's got good players. Florian Below is a very good player. Skundrich, great player. And, we knew that we needed to stay in it. And we did. The guys did the job. So when we brought on some firepower, we created some chances. We just didn't quite find that goal. So I don't think we could have coached it differently. And I was really proud of the guys.
Any chances that really stand out in your mind as you feel like, wish we could have that one back? It looked like Boscho had one that hit Sawatzky, but it was on the ground in the box that it might have been going in.
Yeah, I think the clearest one was when Ryan Sawatzky got in clean behind and the Yakuman made the save. Ryan makes that 9 out of 10 times, right? So he hit him in his hands. But, we had set pieces that dropped in the box that we just didn't get onto either. And it's soccer, man. It's what it is.
Talk about the defensive effort. You got to be proud on that end of holding them off the score sheet until pens.
We started two 17-year-olds again, and we brought on two teenagers. So 4 teenagers played significant minutes for us tonight. And Griffin Gurnett, you wouldn't know that he's a teenager. I mean, the kid is getting better by the day.
Defensively, you started this team out. You saw a lot of rotation given from what we saw normally on Saturday. Can you just speak to the first half, those guys that got subbed up at halftime, their effort, because they look totally bought in from the start?
Yeah, it's their team, right? Like we have a lot of good players. We're a team that needs to get a steady group of character guys. Chandler and Suko played their hearts out. We took them off and we added, Addie and Nil, and Nicholas Simmons, man, gutting it out against 2 championship center backs. So I was really proud they stuck with the game plan. We got into the half, hopefully we were hoping to be up 1-0, but 0-0 was good, and then we went for it.
And we know how tricky penalties can be, but can you just speak to the team's mentality going through the game, for sitting in defensively for so long to battling out penalties and literally coming down to the very last game?
Yeah, I think the first half we sat in. I think the second half we let it open up and we went after and we pressed. So I thought it was much better. We'll look at the tape though. We'll see what it looks like. But you get to penalties and you toss the coin, man. Tonight wasn't our night.
And we know, this team's been through a lot of ups and downs, really since last year and whatnot. Overall, just for you from the outside looking in, how proud are you of your team's performance tonight, even though it's a loss? How proud of your team's overall performance, just how they defended and took a champions team to the brink?
What it's shown is that we have more depth than I think people thought we did. Nathan Ani's out, Guy Franca's out, Emiliano Terzaghi is out, Tony Pineda's out. We have a lot of injuries. We're still pretty beat up. Guys are stepping up from teenagers to pro guys. So when we are fully healthy, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And last question, once again, we saw Adrian Bellhart come in, totally change the game and dictate the pace. Can you just speak about how great it is to have a winger that's pressure resistant and also creative?
Yeah, we tried to get Adrian a couple of years ago when he went to the championship and weren't able to. He remembered that and rewarded us and came back to us. And I think he's a very good offseason signing for us.
Thank you so much, Coach. I'll take that.
Really super performance on defense tonight. Making sure that the USL Championship side was completely shut out at City Stadium. And you captained the team this evening. Can you kind of talk about the team's performance and specifically the back line?
Yeah, I think yesterday when we came in, or 2 days ago I should say, when we met for the first time after traveling after Madison, we came in with a game plan. Darren set us up in a way that he thought would hinder some of the things that they like to do well. And then, you know, if we kept it 0-0, start to bring on our boys like Nil, Adi, Arthur, and really have a go at it that second half. And we stuck to the game plan, and it worked out well. I think it was a big performance from the back line. Shella was massive, but it really took everybody. Like, the midfield was doing a lot of work, getting out to balls, stepping up, and really clogging up what they like to do well. So for the 11 boys that started, it really set the tone and allowed the guys that to come on to really do their thing.
Yeah, and even though this was the first time that the Kickers and Loudoun have played like officially in a competitive match, a team that you guys are pretty familiar with, playing them every preseason now for the last couple of years. How did you feel that familiarity kind of helped the team, and do you think that in a way kind of aided Loudoun, where you guys were trying to like trade counter punches and figure out each?
Yeah, I think, you know, we played them twice this preseason. Going back to even my first year here, we played them twice pretty much every year. Games always seem to get a little bit chippy. I think there's no love lost there for sure. And yeah, I just think like we countered each other well tonight. You know, you saw that with the 0-0 going 120. They did well to stop some of the things that we like to do. We had some big chances that we didn't take. They had one or two that Shella came up big for us, but I think overall it was a really positive step forward for the whole team. To get a shutout 120 minutes was massive. It's something that we've been looking to do, and just continue to build on that going forward into the weekend.
Yeah, and some of the guys that you were playing with in defense, Zaka having a massive performance despite an early yellow card, making sure he didn't get that second one. Griffith Garnett playing 120 minutes at 17 years old. Can you kind of talk about just like the guys that you were surrounded with tonight and that whole team effort, that team spirit?
Yeah, I mean, Zaka's class. He's always going to do what he does. He's a special kind of player to, you know, take some of the pressure off a lot of the midfield and do that dirty work and be the type of dog that he is. Yeah, it was funny. I turned to Griffin right after the 90. I was like, first 120 for you, huh? He was like, yeah. I was like, 15 and 15, ain't nothing to it, brother. Let's just keep it going. And I like working with him. He's a great kid, listens well, and you can see he's growing every day. Like, in practice, he's getting better. He's playing balls out of the back that, you know, a 17-year-old you don't really see quite often. So I think he's a big-time player. Simon, always doing his thing, man. That kid's an animal. Like, I call him the cyborg because he just, you know, does his thing and he dials himself in really well, and couldn't be happier for some of the guys really tonight. I think it was a big-time performance from the back line and really Zaka. And like I said, it took everybody. You saw how many subs we did. Moving in on that, I think we just got to continue to carry this momentum forward.
You alluded to Shello a couple times. He made some big saves. How proud are you of him in his first start in the Kickers?
Yeah, I played with Shello back in 2021, or was it? Yeah, in Tucson. He's a big-time player, man. The kid's a gamer. Like, he locks in once it comes to game time, and for him to get a shutout is, like, I couldn't ask for anything more for the kid. I'm super happy for him, and just hope, like I said, continue to build on that. Like, Pablo's a great goalkeeper as well, and to have two guys back there at the core like that, working day in and day out together with Evan and James, like, that's exactly the type of competition and the type of, you know, really competitiveness we need day in and day out. That's what we get 0-0 results like that because of how competitive training sessions have been.
Your penalty was great. I think I saw a big fist pump over to the fans. Take us through the psychology of that moment. Are you trying not to think? If you are, what's going through your head as you step to the spot?
No, yeah, I'm, you know, as soon as the PK start, we've worked on it. You have your moment, you know what you're doing. For me, just take my time getting up there, relax my heart rate, and smack it home.
Talking about PKs, how cool was it for you guys to be standing on the halfway line, seeing the crowd just migrate all the way over here to this side?
Yeah, the coin toss was funny. I was like, it was pretty much threw me off because the coin decided which way we were gonna go. Nobody picked it, so the coin decided that we were gonna go over there. I was hoping we were gonna try to get everybody in the stands behind over there, but that's so be it. Nah, it was great. Like, Section O always shows out. The fans tonight were great. You can hear them cheering, chanting. Like, those are the type of vibes we need here at City Stadium, and that's one of the reasons why, like, I love this club so much.
Also, having your goalkeeper back there, Shallow, he's really aggressive coming off his line and snuffing out those chances. How, for you being the captain, how great was it to see him have that moment where he was just making saves and standing on his head?
Yeah, we kept talking about throughout the beginning of the game before in warm-ups and stuff like that this is a massive opportunity for everybody. You know, not very often do you get to play a team up a level. And for us, I think we took the opportunity and we ran with it. Couldn't be more proud of him. Like, he showed up tonight, first start in a massive game like this, and to be cool, calm, and collected like he was the whole game. Stellar performance from him.
Most people might look at this game and say that the Richmond gave up too much possession and that, you know, the game didn't get good until the subs came in. But can you just speak about the performance that Nick Simmons, Justin Suko, and those guys had before they got subbed out at halftime?
Yeah, we go into games with a game plan. And, you know, we're not just tossing out 11 guys on the field, just random 11 guys. Like, there was a method to what we were doing. And, you know, we sneak a goal in there. It looks like a genius game plan. Unfortunately, we didn't get quite the goal, but we kept it 0-0 for 120 minutes. We had our opportunities when some of the, you know, Nil, Adi, Arthur came on. I thought Vaughnie came in and did quite well for us too, just clogging up the midfield. So, like I said, it was all part of the game plan. And for us to really take the game plan and initiate that and have it be effective was big time for the boys.
And talking about that game plan, this team has had moments where they couldn't quite get the clean sheet in games previous. To play 120 minutes and have a clean sheet, like, how massive does that make the defense feel confident?
Yeah, it sets a tone going forward that, you know, we can do this. Like, we've given up a couple goals throughout the beginning of the season, and to go 120 minutes without giving up a goal against a championship team is something to take pride in. Like I said, something that we can continue to roll on going into the weekend and just continue to build on the momentum. Like you said, it took a lot of guys tonight, and that's what it's going to take on Saturday and going forward. That's why we're a team, you know, regardless of the 11 that's out on the field. There's a game plan, we stick to it, and we try to be effective as possible. Thank you guys.
Really gritty performance from the team to force 120 minutes in penalties against the USL Championship side. You came in at halftime, both watching from the bench there in the first 45 and then coming in and playing significant minutes. Can you just kind of talk about the team's performance overall and what you witnessed?
Yeah, no, I think, again, we proved to ourselves that we're growing every game. We proved to ourselves that we can compete against opposition from higher levels, and I think we proved to ourselves that when we keep the ball, when we press high, when we are on the front foot, we're very dangerous and a team that can score a lot of goals. On the other side, you know, amazing performance from everyone. I think from players that haven't had a lot of minutes, from academy guys, from guys that came on at halftime, on overtime. I think it was a great performance, but I still think there's a lot of room for improvement, even though with a good performance, and that's what excites me for Saturday, for example.
Yeah, and kind of that first half versus the second half, it had a little bit of a rope-a-dope mentality where Loudoun had a lot of the possession, but, you know, you guys made sure that it was really poor chances if they even had one. And then the substitutions that came in the second half, can you just kind of talk about how that flip switched, and then you guys come into the attack, and there was a lot of really positive play, a couple near scoring chances for the kickers too, and just kind of what you witnessed once you got on the field.
Yeah, again, I think when we're on the front foot, when we're pressing, we are the protagonists, and we believe that through the ball is the way to win games. I think we're much more dangerous. I think the first half was great from the guys to defend, to cover spaces, to stay compact. But I think the Richmond that we want to see is the Richmond of the second half, and the Richmond that goes forward, and the Richmond that keeps the ball, that creates its chances, that gets a clean sheet through that, and hopefully we can keep progressing.
Nil, walk us through the psychology, the emotion of a penalty shootout. What's going through your head as you step to the spot? Are you trying to slow the heart rate down a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, of course, it's always nerve-wracking to an extent, but I try to stay calm. I have like a game plan to an extent of what I'm going to do for the most part, and just be confident on my training, and then just take the penalty.
Dak talked a lot about Shello's performance in goal. You got to be proud of him in his first start for the kickers tonight. Talk about what you saw from him.
Yeah, no, he was amazing. And besides the big saves that he made, besides almost saving a penalty, I think for me what it stuck with me is his ability or his character to play with the ball, to find the 6, to find the 10, to not just, it could be easy just to play the ball long and, you know, it's not my responsibility. He took the responsibility, he embraced it, and of course, amazing saves, but for me, with the ball, he was amazing.
Thinking about the responsibility, how for you, being one of the veterans on the team, was it to see other guys, younger guys, take that responsibility and not shy away against the championship squad?
Yeah, I think it's part of our culture. I think we've been saying it from the first day, right? No matter if you're the older guy, if you're younger, if it's your first year, if it's your fourth year, I think that's what we want to play, and it relates to how we want to play. That everyone is on the front foot, everyone wants the ball, everyone wants the responsibility, and if every single player does that and we share that, we're going to be in a good place.
Also, for you, when you get named PKs and you guys stand on the halfway line, can you just describe that moment of seeing the fans rush all the way from Section O to this side? Like, what were you guys thinking and seeing the fans run over here?
Yeah, and it was great. I mean, we were hoping to take it in the other side, but unfortunately we had to take it there. But it was great to see the support from all of the fans, from all of the people in Richmond, and of course it gives you an extra motivation to score.
And for you, like mentally wise, is there any difference coming on in the game? Like normally you're starting games, you know that, but coming on as a second half sub, is there any mentality shift? You know, you're coming into the game a little bit colder maybe, but for you, how was it?
I would say it's similar. I mean, of course, when you start, you get in rhythm, you get into the game. When you're a sub, you have to find your rhythm, you have to find your spaces, see what's around. But at the same time, when you're out and you come in, then you can also observe when you're sitting down and see where the spaces, where the advantages, and how can you make an impact. So there's positives on both.
And unfortunately, we know Arthur missed his pink PK, but immediately as that happened, we saw you, Dak, and others run over to him and give him words of encouragement. I won't ask you to display those words, I know those are private, but what does that mean just to try to uplift your teammate in a hard moment?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Arthur has been amazing since the start of the season. I'm of the philosophy of like, you only miss a penalty if you take a penalty, and you have to step up. Being the fifth is tough, there's a lot of pressure, and yeah, we miss as a team and we win as a team, so no problem at all.